I'll bring this back.
All right. You're allowed to say that's right. You can say mm-hmm and well and amen. Preach it. Tell them. We actually like it when you say those things. I might lose that chair for a second. Come right here. I'm gonna go grab another chair. And I'll add another chair right here. My wife thought of you guys. You want to text me once you get here and I'll bring them in? I like how we're not ourselves like
Hey there, Lucero. How are you doing?
Fired up.
Who did you sell a policy to and now they're here?
This lady right here in the red, her name is Nellie.
Nellie?
Yes, sir. She bought CFG Final Expense. And it got issued, so it got issued the same day, 5 hours. My earrings to show. Back here, Nellie. I sure am, Andy. All right, y'all. Final expense sales submitted for this week. David Zagorski with 4,807. Bill Cook 4,840. Jay Turner with 4,868. Justin Balick, 4,935. Luabadi, 5,413. Jan Miller, 5,550. Cadorsil Blue with 5,857. Nick Thays with 6,157. Kim Spinelli Young, 6,981. Shannon Barnhart, 7,056. Second place, Angela Manzo with 8,308. And in first place with 9,533, Marty Doge. Woo! Good job, y'all. Total sales submitted for this week: Michelle Alleman, 15,654. Shannon Barnhart, 15,820. Marvin Osuna, 15,828. James and Jane Hill up in here, 15,870. Sarge Wilson, 16,331. Jenny Patel, 17,198. Chris Long, 17,859. Michael Owens, 18,527. Linda Goebel came in with 19,722. Kim Spinelli Young, third place with 21,332. Second place, Paul Menachino with 22,603. And in first place with 31,339, birthday boy Bill Cook. All right, y'all. Annuity sales issue paid this week. Jason Carey, 12,200. Barbara Lowry with 15,133. Adrian Pila, 20,000. Minerve Profil, 20,100. Sam Shaw, 75,000. Third place, Dr. Phil Haybear with 124,345. Whew, that was a mouthful. Dennis Lyons came in second place with 150,000, and in first place with 164,243, Norman Gordon. Woo! Congratulations to everybody with the numbers for this week. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's give it up for the man that's made all of this possible all across the United States, our president, our CEO, our Capitan, Andy Albright.
Thank you, buddy. All right, who's got the clapper up there? That's the noise. That was good. Who is it? That's it right there. Okay, so I didn't realize this was on band, and of course there's a lot of people that call in that are out there selling and they're not able to tune in to, not band, what do you call it? Zoom, people that are on Zoom. So try to be clear to them. I did post a lot of examples of what we're going to talk about on band, of how simple it is to get wealthy doing our system. The number one thing is our new compensation system, to be clear, is based on massive volume. And I know how to create volume, and I know some of my leaders like Alex Abian know how to create volume, but it's like a million ways to do it wrong and only one way to do it right. And so a lot of people add stuff, take away stuff. It's like a recipe. There's a million ways to mess up a pound cake, and pretty much only one way to do it to make it, or a chocolate chess pie. There's pretty simple ways to do it, but you can jack it up by putting all kinds of extra ingredients in there, cooking it too long, not cooking it enough. Same thing with creating volume and building your organization. There's a lot of ways to do it wrong. And Dustin, is this girl with you? Dustin, what's her name? Shelby. Okay, Dustin and Shelby, I want to talk to y'all because you're right here. I got a couple of people that I'm also chatting with that who hired y'all, Dustin? You can talk straightforward if you want to. James Hill. And they can't hear you on the conference line, but that's fine. It's just a sharp couple here, Dustin and Shelby. The people mess stuff up, and they can't. They shouldn't be shocked. What they should say is, how did I mess it up? What did I do wrong? What part of the formula did I not follow? They shouldn't say, these damn eggs, you know what I mean, or this oven, or the recipe was wrong. You know, like thousands of people before you have used this recipe to make a pie. Right. It works. Right. You did something wrong. It is annoying when somebody gets frustrated, like they think that the recipe's bad. It's like, you're not that dumb, are you really? You know, please God, tell me, you know, you can handle it. So I want to get into that. I do want to bring this up, that I suggested a contest where you would fly into Burlington, we would jump on my jet, we would fly up to Nassau-Ree, which used to be called Phoenix. So Phoenix Life is now called Nassau-Ree. They've changed the name of it. And we would fly up to Connecticut, meet the president, the vice president, stay in a hotel, eat the dinner, and chill out, get a good time with each other. I've invited 3 people to go, but you've got to have 3 different organizations issue paying business in the last 90 days. So far, Mike Rodriguez is winning, Michael Owens is number 2, and Tim Long is number 3. If Marvin Osuna got one more person selling issue paid, he would go to number 1, and you would be invited to go on that trip, Marvin. Olga Mathis, you would be, if you had one more new person writing business, you and Jason, you would be right up there in the contest. You would probably be number 3. Marcus Richardson, same thing, and Jan Miller. Everybody else, Michelle Alleman, you need a little bit more volume, Michelle Alleman in Nassau-Ree, and you would be in the top 3. Junior Korea, same thing, a little bit more volume. Kerry Williams, a little bit more volume. James and Jane, same thing, just a little bit more volume, and y'all would be right in the middle of that contest. So this is the trip to Nassau-Ree up in Connecticut. I want to mention that. Also posting right now on Band are all the leaders for the fourth quarter contest. We're giving away $100,000 cash. And Christian Cameron, who I spent some time with Tuesday down in Lakeland, Florida, is leading that contest. Listen to this. She's beating everybody that was hired in 2018, and she's beating everybody that was hired in 2017 except for Eric Cruz, who was hired by that Philip Hebert that you heard Lucera talking about. So Christian is whooping everybody's butt. Christian's husband's name is Gary. Say? Gary. Gary and Christian. Dia Gondor, am I saying that right, is number 2 of all the people we've hired in 2018. And Dia is also number 3 of all the people in 2018 and 2017. Pretty impressive, Dia. And you have a chance to win $5,000. Dia, if you could pass Christian, you would make $5,000 as the number 1. And then you would get, I think it's $2,500 or $3,000. Oh, here's the dollars amount right here. You would win, if you passed her, you would win $3,000. So you have a chance of getting $8,000 cash if these last 2 weeks you can move past Cameron. There's a new couple that I have not met named Billy and Ada Crane. They are number 3 in the country for all agents hired in 2017, and they're beating all agents hired in 2018. So Billy and Ada, you could also pass Christian and get that $5,000 cash. I guess you could pass Paul Cruz and get the other $5,000 for the 2017 contest. Jared Gonzalez is hanging in there at number 4. And number 5. The people in 2018, the winners for 2018 have a chance to win a lot of money because they're passing even the people in 2017. Mia Stone fits that category. Lemuel Rodriguez and Gary Bell, who's under Evan Patzer, and Tim and Nikki Long. So we got a lot of 2018 people that are spanking the whole country and it's pretty awesome. Recruits, Richard Smith is leading the way. Tim Long is number 2. These are brand new people. Lemuel, Diaz up there at number 5. Roland is up there. So we got a lot. All these are posted on Band. Let me just take a look at the veterans. Let's see who's winning the veteran contest. Veteran contest, Sarge, as usual, is spanking everybody's butt with 80,065 cases. Here's one's a little bit different. Junior Korea is number 2 in the country. He's usually not that high of a personal producer, but he's been focusing lately and just killing it, and his recruiting's probably tripled. Mark Hutchinson, number 3. Bill Cook, number 4. Eric Paul Cruz, who was hired in 2017, is actually number 5 in the country. Christian Cameron's number 9 in the country, and she was hired this year. Pretty crazy. And the same thing with Dia Gondor, number 12 in the country, hired this year. So a lot of great stuff going on contest-wise. Oh, I want to show you that our new book, The House of Values and Behaviors for the Alliance, Jeff Bright and myself, is almost here. This is a sample book. See? Sample? See? It's almost here. Can't wait to give those out at National Convention. That's going to be exciting, and you're going to get cases of those. I know you're going to want to give them out because it talks about who we are and how we are. Okay. So I really, really, really want to get into this production volume. First of all, promotions are based on all target premium of IUL and 10% of annuity. So looking at the top annuity producers, Dr. Phil Hebert has now paid over $2 million. Brant Swindell is $1,500,000. Steve Maymaritas, y'all might think that sounds easy to say, but Maymaritas, it's margaritas, but it don't have the arg. Maymaritas, Lori Reed at $1 million. So Rush Rucker at $1 million, Lemuel at $900,000, Paul Jara at $800,000, Terry Edwards at $800,000. So big time stuff. 10% credit goes towards your promotions on annuities. So big premium annuities. I'm going to announce another conference call talking about IULs, and I'm going to announce some dates that people can to attend. I'll think about this. I'm getting this specialist to come in named Dean Vagnozzi for free, but what we're going to do is we're going to say you buy 30 of his books, but we'll give you a huge discount at like $10 each. So you can look at it as $300 to go to seminar, or you're getting 30 books for $300, and then you get a 4-hour seminar with Dean Vagnozzi. So I'm going to do that in Dallas. I'm looking at doing one in Burlington. If there was enough people interested in that type of a 4-hour seminar, I could make that happen the first week of January. But I need to know if there's interest in that. If not, I'm definitely going to be in Dallas on January the 18th. So we would do, actually the 17th, we would do that 4-hour seminar, but you would just be required to purchase 30 books, because if you're going to learn his system, most of his system is his book. He does enough to get them interested, and then he gives them the book. So you're going to need the book. So if you don't make $300 back in the first month, you're doing something wrong, because you're handing this book out to qualified prospects. If you're interested in the first week in January, oh yeah, Jacksonville, we will definitely line one up in Jacksonville. Will definitely be one coming in New Jersey. It just won't be that week. It'll be on into the year, January, February. Okay, so I put on Band some examples. I did A, B, C, D, E, and then I've got one example of a group that we've been working on for about a month and a half. I say we, me and Nicole and Ashley, and that thing is moving. Okay, that group is moving. So I've got that on Band to let you see what's going on with it. It's a real group that we've drawn out, and I want people to start to get how this works. Let's go to, if you'll put example A on the screen, Tia. And if you guys will look on band, the ones that are calling in, if you can look, going 4 wide is when you hire 4 people direct to you. Now, somebody asked me this week. He said, hey, I've got 4 wide, but none of their friends are interested in our system. I would say, real quickly, the people you've hired are not impressing anybody. You with me? In other words, you think you're 4 wide, and I go, you're really not hired anybody. Meaning the people you hired aren't, you call, so you hire 4 people and you say, hey, listen, have you talked to anybody about the business? And they say, yeah, but nobody's interested. They all say it's a dumb idea. So I go to the second person. In other words, it's hard to build chicken salad with chicken poop. It's just hard to make something quality out of something inferior quality. Now, if you say, Andy, just because my friends don't do anything I recommend does not make me a bad person. I would say you're a great person. The world has just not picked up on it yet. Does that make sense? So I'm not being too critical of you. I'm just saying that there's nothing we can really do about it. You're not really 4 or 5 wide unless people are getting in under the people you're hiring. Okay? So if you would go to B, Tia. In example B, you've got your first layer, which is 1, and you've got your second layer, 2. So in your first layer, I've got an asterisk beside a person. In other words, out of the first 4, the second person you hire goes 4 wide. The third person you hire, really nothing happens. And the fourth person goes 4 wide. So the asterisks are on the people that had some sense and you went 4 wide quickly. Does this make sense? So in other words, you might go 7 wide before you find 2 people that 4 people get it. And if you notice, I put Alliance Aiden and Alliance Alice on there because my guess is the asterisk people are Alliance Alice or Alliance Aiden. Now, you might say, well, what if the person with the asterisk is 54, Andy, or what if they're 60? Well, it depends on what they're hiring, okay? So now look at this, the way this shapes out. You hire 4 people, and 2 of those people get 4. That gives you 8 on the second layer. Are y'all tracking this? Okay, if I have 8 to choose from, I will bet you I can get 2 better people than when I only had 4 to choose from. Does that make sense? Not only that, the first 4 was kind of, I want to say random, but the second 4 under those 2 people should be their best people. So if you're going down to asterisk, the first asterisk, James, or Dustin, or Shelby, you should tell them who's your coolest friends, who's your most fun friends, who most is like y'all in their beliefs, right? So if you say, well, these people, I think they might do it, but they're not good parents. They're terrible to their kids. That's not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that you would love to get over to your house and have dinner and hang out with them. So when you go down to this, so if you hire a person in their asterisk and they're 60 years old or they're only 18 years old, tell them what we're looking for and show them the card. I just hired some young'uns that are 22 years old and 21 years old. And I told them, I said, I would like some of your friends that have been out of college for 5 years and are frustrated and they don't like it and they are interested in what we do. I would say the same thing if you're talking to a 60-year-old. Show them Alliance Aiden, show them Alliance Alice, and say, this is what we're looking for. So I'm not discriminating with the old, I'm not discriminating with the young. But if they are, go back to the picture. Can you go back to the screen? If they are this old right here, you want to say, who do you know that's about your age? Okay, not James and Jane, by the way. Ain't it crazy that you're getting older than a lot, huh?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
No problem. So Shelby and Dustin, like, who do you know your age that you like and you'd like to hang out with? Now, I will say, if you want to get them smarter, if you want them to get them with less personal problems, less parent problems, like let's say your mom was in bad health or your dad was in bad health or their mom and dad are fighting, okay? If you found a couple that has no outside problems, I know that's a miracle if you find somebody that has no outside problems, but a person that has less problems than you, that would be better. Does that make sense? Don't get me wrong, we're going to hire everybody, but when you go back to that drawing, you want to find stuff that's people that are easy or situations that are easy to work with, and you don't have to, like if I hire somebody that's got 5 kids, the first thing I say is like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for child care? I don't say, what are you going to do? Like, what are we going to do? Because I'm in business with you. I'm your partner. How can I help you with this child care situation? I'm not going to say, oh, it's no problem. You can build this, and they'll be fine. I'm like, hey, you got all these young'uns. What are we going to do with that program? You know what I mean? I'm not being mean. I just want to know what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Like if we're a basketball team and you ain't got but one hand, I'm like, all right, show me how to dribble with that. You know, you ain't got no, you can't dribble. Show me how that works. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be mean, but if you're going to be on the team, you can't just get on the team without trying out, you know. And turns out you can dribble better than Chris Hill, who's got 2 hands. I get it. You follow what I'm saying? In other words, that relates. If you have a couple that has 5 kids and they have better control than a couple who has a dog. My dog, got to let that dog out. Your dog need to grow a bladder is what you need to do. A dog don't need to be let out every 4 hours. You need to learn them. Don't give them no water before you leave, what you need to do. You follow what I'm saying? In other words, we know we're going to have challenges. So if you go back to that B, let's go back to B for a minute. If you go back to B, by the time you get to this second level, you should have more choices. So the green asterisk, you hired 4, 2 of those people hired 4, you got 8. Those 2 with the green asterisk need to be the most perfect of the couples or the people that you're hiring. So there's where you want to go to create 4 more wide. Now you say, well, I've got 8. What if I have a 3rd asterisk or 3? Well, then you've got 12 on the 3rd level. So if you got 12 on the 3rd level, I think I got one of those. Yeah, I do. D. If you go to D, skip to D. If you go to D, you're going to see that you got, at the 4th level, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Now you have 20 options of places to pick from. So if you're on band, go to D. So now you have 20 options. The 2 you pick down at the bottom ought to be bad to the bone. Now also, if you notice, I've showed you going down there and picking one in each side. So you got your first leg and your second leg. Now, you could also use your imagination, put yourself above you and just say, hey, I've hired a you. I've hired a you. Now I'm driving 2 legs deep. You could take the you and you could tell the you where to work. Does that make sense? I see so many groups when they're drawn out and I can tell they don't know you don't know what you're doing. the deepest point of the leg is where you need to be. You don't delegate depth unless you want to die. If you want to keep growing, you got to keep dropping down in there and hiring people. So I talk to people and they start telling me about this 5th level, like right here in D. They start telling me about them, but they've not talked to one of those 8 people. Those blue, you see the blue? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, how is that possible that you've not met them and talked to them? The only thing acceptable would be if my upline's building my first 2 legs and they won't let me talk to them. That's a bad sign if your upline don't let you talk to your people. That's like they're saying like, don't talk to him, you'll catch what he's got, and I don't. All right, can you go to C for a minute? Try to get me to that one. All right, C is an example of what I see a lot too, which people go straight down, and then they get down to number 4, and it dead ends or it fizzles. Here's the reason. You got a 6, you couldn't hire but 1. You got a 7, you couldn't hire but 1. You got a 6, couldn't hire but 1. And you get down here 4 levels and you got a 3. And nobody's interested. So you got to go back up to the top and you got to start putting in more width. Does that make sense? And so it's like a detour. Again, you could put yourself above the U and you hired a U and then you went straight down and then you dead end. Now you got to come all the way back. I would create multiple options as I'm going down so that I don't have to start all over again. It's very annoying for me to have to start back over again. Don't get me wrong. If I get down in there and it's going really, really good, and then the person at the top says, hey, I hired another great person, would you meet them? I'm willing to do that. I just hate to be starting all over and I'm trying to get 12 deep. Let's go to E. Show you this could happen. You could go down to E, or you could go down 3 levels. You could where I got the first blue asterisk, it's kind of an 8 or a 9, and then they hired an 8 or a 9, and then they hit an Alliance Aiden, and he goes 5 wide instantly, and then 2 of those people are good. So that's another way you can get down. In other words, those of you who are listening in, you might go straight down. Like I hire Tim, who hires Bob, who hires Mike, and then Mike goes 5 wide. Or maybe you're going to go Bob, Tim, Mike, Sherry. And then Sherry goes 5 wide. And then I pick one of those 2 and then drop down. So that happens, but not as often as you think, because usually when it's 7s and 6s, they only attract 7s and 6s. We might have got lucky and found the brother of somebody or the sister of somebody that was really good, and they didn't even pay attention to who hired them. They just saw the opportunity. So that happens, but not that often. Okay. I invited a couple of people on that I wanted to talk to, and I hate I don't have their groups on the call, but hey, before we do that, well, Marvin Osuna, if you would say hello, and Will, if you would say hello. Let me make sure I got you set up where you can talk. Is this on band? You know what? I don't know how they can talk. I was thinking I called them on my line. How can I do that? I probably can't fix that now. Yeah, I think I will call them on a cell phone. Yeah, not a problem. I'm gonna call Will first. Yeah, call Marvin for me. Hey, just hang up the band line, Will. You there, Will?
Yeah, can you hear me, Andy?
I can hear you loud and clear. I can't hear you that loud. Are you on speakerphone? There you go, pick up.
Yeah, can you hear me better?
I can hear you a lot better. Okay, So here's the question, Will. Are you seeing these diagrams?
I am.
Okay, your first leg, how deep are you in people that are in class in your first leg?
We're 4 deep.
4 deep. 4 deep in class.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, let me back up a little bit and get you on board. Promotions in this business are based on volume, and hiring a person and stopping will give you terrible volume. Getting a person in class, putting 4 people underneath them in class, and putting 4 people underneath one of those in class. So you go 4 wide, pick one, go 4 wide. That's 8 people. If you could get 2 people out of your first 4, 2 wide, that gives you 12 people, because you're 4 plus 8, that's 12. The deeper you get, the more volume you're going to bring. You think that going wider will get you more volume, but it will not, because it does not work with multiples. It's addition when you go in width. It's by multiplication when you go in depth. Okay? So how much does that first leg do any volume yet, Will?
No, it just really started kicking a little bit of volume.
Okay, so how many out of 4 people in class, do you know how many people have their license? If you go straight down, how deep?
We're 2 deep with license.
2 deep with license. Well, I've got an organization that on my bottom level, I'm probably 6 people at 5 levels down, and I've only got 1 person selling, and I'm not upset. Now, by April, I'm looking to have 10 or 15 people selling in one organization. Okay? Tracking with me?
Yes.
Okay, so your first organization is, what'd you say, 4 deep in class?
Yes. 4
Do
deep in
you
class.
have it? Here's another thing. If you don't, you need to have your organization drawn out and quickly available all the time. I talked to a guy, he said he draws his group out once a month. I'm like, dude, your group should change dramatically every 24 hours. Okay, so I would mark that number. Do you know the 4th person's name, or is it more than 1 person 4 levels deep in that first leg, Will?
It's 1 person. It's Anna.
Okay, Anna. Okay, so let's go back up to number 3. If your first person's Anna, let's go back up to number 3. Who's before that?
Kim.
Kim. Does Kim have any more good people to work with?
Yes, she has 7 children that are all Alliance Aiden and Alice that I'm trying to get direct to right now.
Okay. Now was number 4 Anna? Let me take better notes. Who's the 4th down?
Anna.
Anna. And who's number 3?
Kim.
Kim. And which one has all the sharp kids?
Kim does.
All right. What I would want to do with Kim, I would want to go all those legs, those kids straight down. In other words, if they're family, I want to go mama, daughter, brother, sister. I want to go straight down. Okay? I don't want to put them in width to Kim. Okay?
Yes.
Now, this is worth taking a minute to tell you why. If I hire a mama who hires 1 kid, another kid straight down, everybody in the family wants to go down to the deepest point. Let's go, I tell you what, there's a good diagram we can go to. Let's go to, if you will put up number E. Put up E for me. Okay. E says you hire the mama, or I think the way E looks, it's me, I hire a you, and then I hire the mother, and then I hire a brother, then another brother. Now, everybody, think about this. If the U in that picture y'all are looking at, in E, in the diagram E, if the U is the mother, and then we hire a brother, and then we hire a sister, and then another brother, so the green asterisk is the brother, everybody is going to want to go, all the mamas and the brothers and sisters are going to go down there and help that green asterisk because it'll drive the volume up to them. Does that make sense? So you say, well, I want to be at the bottom. I want to be at the top. It don't matter. They're all lined up. So with family, I would want to line it up. Or these, I just hired 2 guys, and they're like brothers, best friends. So one dude named Dre hired 2 other dudes that are like brothers. I would probably stack them because that way their interests are aligned. But if I told you, let's say you are in a fraternity, and I said, do you know anybody? And you went, no, I don't think of anybody. And then I hired another person out of the fraternity. I'm not going to put them under you. You said you didn't know anybody. You with me? That's different. But if it's brothers, they know their brothers, they know their sisters, let's get them all together. But so what if they hate each other? Well, that's a bad situation if you've got family that hates each other. But you're tracking on why, I mean, now people say, well, I need more legs so I can get promoted, so I'm going to put all my brothers direct to me. That is very, very egotistical, very, very self-serving. I would stack the family, and that way everybody goes down in depth and works with that person. Now watch this. Look at that E. We could take 2 brothers and a sister and go down under that green asterisk and work 3 different legs at one time and blow that kid up and take them to agency manager pretty daggum quick. Is this making sense, Will?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So you align everybody so the volume moves up and they work together as opposed to them competing with each other.
Yeah, you don't want brothers and sisters competing. You want them working together, if at all possible. Okay, so you're working with Kim. Let me give you, you got Kim hired Anna. I am telling you, if Anna takes off and she gets 3 or 4 people, that will help you so much with Kim's children. Because if Kim can tell her children that Anna has hired 5, that's where the competition kicks in or the jealousy kicks in. That makes sense. Okay, so number 2 leg, Will, what's going on there? How many people is there many people licensed? How deep is that leg?
That leg is only 2 deep.
Okay, how about leg 3?
Leg 3, those are all just 1 deep right now.
Okay. And your direct upline is who?
Tim and Carrie Raven.
E, well, are you telling me E didn't get up on band? Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I can fix that pretty quick. I think. All right, it's up there now. Well, it's loading up. So if you couldn't see E on band, it's now up there. Okay. If I'm Tim and Carrie Raven, and then who's above them?
Jason and Tawny Carey.
So you go Jason. So me, Jason and Tawny, Tim and Raven, okay, and then Will. Typically, when you see Will, 6 months from now, leg 1 and 2 will be massive, typically, and 3 and 4 don't even exist. And what I would tell Will is, because Jason and Tawny, Tim and Raven and Andy are building leg 1 and 2, you are building leg 3 and 4. Now, if you say, well, Tim and Raven and Jason and Tawny, and you ain't helping me none. Well, if I were you, I would build leg 1 and 2 first. I would not try to build 6 legs. I would really work hard in maybe 4 legs total. Mostly, like I would spend 80% of my time in leg 1 and 2 and 20% in leg 3 and 4. because that establishes your power and it establishes your volume. Make sense, Will?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Now, if Jason and Tony come down working like crazy in 1 and 2, you want to get 3 and 4 started, but you can't demand that they work in 3 and 4. You can ask them to and beg them to. The only thing you can really do is if you start working in leg 3 and that person is way more of an Alliance Aiden and Alice, that leg 3 starts to pass leg 1 and 2, they will switch. Your upline will switch and start working in leg 3. And leg 3 will eventually become leg 1 or 2 because it'll have more volume. Now that is awesome if that's you, and now you got that third leg smoking, okay?
Yes, sir.
So notice how your first leg is 4 deep, your second leg's only 2, and then the other legs are just 1 deep. So you have to decide, is it you that can't get deep in leg 3, 4, and 5, or is the people you hired low quality? It could be either one, and you have to make that decision, okay?
Yes.
All right. The other thing that I love what you're doing, Will, is you set the example. I have some of these managers that they try to do all coaching and no selling, and they have a tiny group. You know, they're running $100,000 a month, and I'm going like, you've got a tiny group, bro. $100,000 is not that big. Please God, tell me you're knocking out 15 to 20,000, at least 10,000 production, and set the example. And then when it gets down to 40 or 50,000, it gets comical that they're not selling because there's just no money. There's no real volume to override if you're selling 40 or 50,000, you know, unless your budget's $2,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, and who lives on that, right? So you need to set the example. What? You need to set the example. Well, keep us in mind too, at $2,000 a month, you're a business owner. And you got to travel to conventions, you got to fly to your group in Louisiana, you got to buy leads, you got to pay for office, you got to pay for a secretary. How you going to pay for a secretary? Secretary's $25,000, you making $25,000. You know what I'm saying? You got no money to eat on. And I'm looking at y'all need to eat. Some of you could skip a day or two. Okay, you tracking with me on this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is Marvin Osuna on here? Osuna, how you doing?
I am doing great. How you doing, Nancy?
Fired up out of my mind, bro.
Sir.
Hey, how many, you were listening to me talk to Will, so maybe you got a head start. Do you know how deep your first leg is and people in class?
Yes, sir. So it's 4 deep, and one person's in class. The other 3 have a license.
So 3 people have a license and the 4th person's in class.
Correct.
Under that 4th person, what's that 4th person's name?
Donna.
Donna. Does Donna, have we started putting has Donna got any people interested and you ain't got them in class yet? Or nobody interested under Donna?
So Donna just came on board yesterday, and we're talking about a list today.
Okay.
With her, but
Is
she already has some people that she's thinking about, and a couple of them have a license.
you see how he said that? She got started yesterday. She already has a couple people that have a license, and they're talking to them today. That's called urgency and speed. I talked to other people, and I get my first leg's got 2 people in class. Have they got anybody? No, we getting with them this week. What does this week mean? This week's Friday. When are you going to get with them? Saturday, Sunday? Oh, next week. What day next week? How about right now? Does that make sense? This goes back to that story about the farmer that had about 1,000 acres, and the guy said, how much land do you want? He said, I really only want the land connected to my land. Y'all see how that works? He buys the farm that's connected to his land. Now, the farm that he bought has other land connected to it. And so you only want to get depth in your legs. Does that make sense? You only want to get depth. You want to get one more deep all the dadgum time with major urgency. So Donna, did you say Donna was 3 deep or 4, Marvin?
4.
4 deep. And then she's got 4 people. What? Not 4 people, but she's got some people that are interested. Who's above Donna?
Kenneth.
Kenneth. And the best person Kenneth hired is Donna, right?
Correct.
Okay. Does Kenneth have anybody else in class?
Not in class, but we're working with him on getting us some more names, and we got a couple interviews today with people he sent us last night.
Okay. So what I would do, if Donna has 3 or 4 people licensed and ready to go, I would tell Kenneth, I would say, bro, let me give you a script on how to call every person you got. You with me? And you say, well, can't we just hold his list until we have time to call it? I don't know about you, but I ain't got no time. I need Kenneth to call his names now and tell me who he's got interested. And I give him the script: license, help, North Carolina, Leeds. Leeds, license, help, North Carolina. I give him, and I teach him. I say, try to recruit me. Tell me. You with me? And I say, all right, go. I'd turn him loose, and I'd say, by tomorrow, see if you can't find 3 or 4 people that are interested. Start, ready, set, go. You say, well, Kenneth's in class. I don't want to bother him. Dude, there's 24 hours in a day. He ain't going to study 24 of them. Let him make some phone calls during that day. Okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
Who's got,
And he's already licensed as well.
he's already licensed. Who is? Kenneth is?
Yes.
Did he get it because of us, or did he get it another reason?
No, he got it with another company.
He was licensed with another company?
Correct.
Oh, I think I got it on band now. Is it on there, Tia? I think it's up there. Will y'all check and see if it's up there? Oh, I see the contest is posted too. Chris Shepard posted that. I need to get, I'm going to try to get Sean Boone. I promised to get him on here. Let's see if I can get him on here. Hey, will you pull up Sean's group, or the one that's drawn out? Hold on. What's that?
He is on there now.
Who is?
He is
It's on band.
Okay, yeah, good.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Sean Boone, how are you doing?
Hold on. Let me exit out and do the last.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to put his group up there that Nicole has built in the last 6 weeks. And it's not going to be crystal clear how many of these people in class. Nicole, oh shoot, you know, it'd be nice if I had Nicole. Let me see if I can get her on here. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can get her first. Thankhauser.
You should be able to do like a.
You think I can get 3 people on?
Yeah, you should be able to. There should be like a merge.
Hey, Nicole, can you turn your other system off? You there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. How you doing there, Tia? 1 second. No worries. I know, I saw you. Okay, so Boone is on the line. Boone came on board, and he hired at least 3 or 4 people were interested right out of the gate. But when we draw out his group, you will see that we only show 2 legs. He's got Jonathan Moxie. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's got 2 legs. Jonathan Moxie and Mike Stevens. So see Mike is in the dead center, and then Moxie's way over there to the left, guys. This will be the one that's labeled Boone at the top. Now, Boone, you have other people that are interested, right?
Yes, sir.
So is your mother still interested?
Yes, but she's taking her time, but I'm pressing her.
Did I just hear her say, uh-huh?
Oh, no, you didn't hear her say, uh-huh.
She's not right there?
No, I'm by myself.
Okay, what's her name?
Veronica.
Okay, so I'm going to draw Veronica in on I've got this printed out. So his third leg is Veronica. Do you have anybody else interested?
Yes, Devin.
Devin.
He was a license, but he will have to get. He's gonna have to do the class over again.
So Devin was licensed before, but now he's got to get back in class again. So what I'm telling y'all is, this guy that I talked to in November, I didn't show him the plan until, in October. I talked to him in October. It was 3 weeks later in November, like November 7th, that I showed him the plan. He got fired up. He had Jonathan Moxie with him day one, but Mike didn't come on till a couple weeks later. But you see how Mike is just blown up.
I just sent you an updated one also.
Okay, you sent me an updated picture. Okay, so I'm looking at it. Okay. Oh, nice. Nice. Exciting right there. Hey, do you have any idea how many people were in class, Nicole?
Yes, I was just trying to figure it out.
Just guess.
None.
Okay, so out of this drawing that you're looking at, only 9 are in class. You say, why are we drawing out? Because all these people say they're going to get in class, and they're all really, most of them are college graduates. And I'm talking decent colleges. Now, there are some guys on there that are community college. There's some guys that decided not to go to college. And that's okay, but they're all very respectful 21-year-olds. There's a couple 20-year-olds and 23-year-olds. They're all young and full of ambition. You with me? Sean, I tell people I like them young, dumb, and full of ambition. Okay? Because they don't come in telling me what to do, because that gets on my nerves quickly when people start telling me what to do, and I'm going like, I've been doing this 27 years. You've been doing it 30 minutes. You're already telling me how to do it. So, by the way, Kevin Keats says he likes them like that too. He said, I like them to come in with enthusiasm and not too smart. He said, because they like to listen to me coach, and I like to coach. I was like, me and you are alike. Keats is the basketball coach at NC State. And Sean played, what position did you play, Sean?
Safety.
Safety. And then he hired Mike, who played safety at NC State. Played corner. And then, how about Moxie? What did he play?
He played corner at Boise State.
At Boise State. So then, if you look, you got, so by the way, Boone is in Miami. Mike is in Charlotte. Moxie was in Miami, but he just got called up by the Arizona Cardinals to play football in the AFL.
No, NFL.
NFL, what I'm talking about. So Moxie just called up to play NFL the last 2 games. So he's fired up. We're happy for him. A lot of people get mad. They go, oh, he don't want to do it now. No. He's still doing it. His business is still growing. We're going to still keep working with him. And then yesterday, look over at the other side of the drawing. There's Freddie and there's Dre. So yesterday, I talked to Dre. Actually, he came to the office. He ended up coming to the hangar, not the office. But he had Eugene and Michael with him. See those 2 people? So now watch this. Matt, look at Mike's leg. Mike's first leg, it looks like it's Torino or Torin. But really Matt, his brother, the second leg for Mike, is probably growing the fastest. But Dre just came on board under Freddie, and they just sent me an updated drawing that they've already put under Michael. Michael already has 3 people fired up under him. He has Javonica, Damian, and Jennifer under Michael. Y'all tracking on this? Now, keep this in mind. Nicole is talking to Boone's just got his license, and Boone's made 3 sales in 1 home, and he's got referrals. So there's no other sales in this organization But we're already down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. Now, Dre just graduated college, and his family's real proud of him. He's one of the first ones in his family to ever get a license. Ever graduate from college. He's fired up out of his mind. He graduated in 3.5 years, and he's playing in the Gator Bowl this coming weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. So he's in the Gator Bowl. He's starting defensive tackle, and he's already got 2 of his boys or his buddies, Eugene and Michael, and then Michael was with me yesterday for the first time ever. And then last night, Nicole got on the phone with Michael and got 3 people fired up underneath him. Does that make sense? Now, Boone, who is in training because he is going to get called up by the NFL also, he wants to play professional football. He's working out every day, 3, 4, 5 hours, and he's on the phone getting these dudes in class. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, Nicole is getting them in class. I ain't doing the classwork stuff, right? I don't typically do that. I've got people. But Ashley is getting them in class. You with me? So now Nicole has switched to Ashley, who's part of her ABTF, getting them in class. But this is 6 weeks in. Can you imagine by April? I would like to go from, what did she say, 9 were in class? Well, first of all, Boone, I'd like to try to get 20 in class before the end of the year.
Right.
And Nicole and Ashley. But listen, if they ain't got the money, we can't make them get in class. Make sense? Now, one of them called me Monday and said, quit bull crapping around, tell me what I need to do. He's not in class. I said, you need to beg for $50 to get in class. You need to ask your mama. You need to drop the ego, whatever you got to do. And I don't know if he's been able to find $50 yet, but Jasmine Lightborn had to pull together, 5 different people, James? Mm-hmm. 5 different people loaned her money to come up with $50. Now Jasmine's got $50,000 in the bank, cash. Not a bad turnaround from having to borrow $50 to putting $50,000 in the bank. So now watch this. I told Boone, I said, have all your people on the call. So they're all hearing this story about Jasmine Lightborn, how she had to borrow from 5 different people. Now, I'm not mad at anybody on that picture, and I'm not going to put pressure on anybody. But what I'm going to keep doing is I'm going to go from, how many people are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 8. There's 40 people. There's 39 people on here. So you might as well say 40 people are fired up. Now, every day we got to call them and remind them. Every day we got to try to get deeper. So I told Nicole, don't have Ashley hire any more with. We've got 100 things to do in this group. Now, if they were all dumb, if they are all a psychological mess, if they were all broke, if they were terrible people, I would keep putting in with. But can you see where, can you pull that back up, Tia? Can you see where we have so many things to do in this group? Mm-hmm. Right, Nicole?
Right.
Tell me about the people under Michael, under Dre. What are they like?
Javonica is very sharp. She's an ROTC right now in South Carolina. She started her own babysitting business by word of mouth. So she's entrepreneurial. She's studying criminal justice. She knows she doesn't want to go to law school, so she wants to do business. She wants to add this into her, I guess, knowledge base.
Okay, so I got Veronica. I'm drawing her in. So Michael has hired Veronica. So what'll happen is, say again?
Her name's Javonica.
Javonica. Okay, so Javonica. So now, if I'm Boone, I'm trying to call Javonica right now. If I'm Freddie, I want to call Javonica right now. You with me? If I'm Dre, I want to call Javonica right now. But look what Boone gets to choose from. He could talk to Jeremy. He could talk to Amanda. He could talk to Jeremy B. He could talk to Christian Young. He could talk to Kristen. He could talk to Raven. He could talk to Bree. See, what you want to do is you're choosing down at the bottom of every leg the sharpest, most crazy, most ambitious. But you also, if you're Boone, you want to get 2 really good people under Mike down at the bottom, and you really, 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 you want to work harder on Moxie because you don't want to lose that leg. You keep looking for the sharpest there, Boone, to keep that leg going. Now, you've also hired Devin and Veronica, so you probably need to devote probably 30% of your time to Devon and Veronica because you don't want to get those 2 legs too far behind, and then these 2 legs are doing $50,000 each, and then you only doing 1,000 in number 3 and 1,000 in number 4. So you see how this is kind of like chess, right, Boone?
That makes sense.
So when people get involved in this business, they think, oh, any idiot can do it. And I go, yeah, he can, but it helps if you're smarter. It helps if you can juggle your schedule. It helps if you can make friends quickly on the phone. It helps if you can delegate stuff that you don't need to be doing. It helps if you have a secretary to help put people in class for you. You can hand them off. Okay. All right, what else? Who else do we have under Michael? There's 3 people. Well, tell me about the other ones, Nicole.
I am calling them when we get off the phone. So I'm speaking to Damien after 1, and then Michael has already talked to them, the 2 of them, and then he also talked to another one. I believe he did ROTC with Damien. So Michael was a mentor for ROTC, so he mentored Javonica, and I believe he mentored Damien too. So I'm speaking with them when we get off this call.
Okay, so you're tracking. This means that Michael got these 3 people interested. So yesterday at the hangar, I told Michael what to say to his friends. Then Nicole texted him and said, hey, you had a good time with Andy. What did Andy say? Andy said, I need to find some people. I've got 3 interested. By the way, Boone, did Dre tell you that I got word that the running back is interested? And yeah, Reggie, and that's his cousin. That's Dre's cousin.
Yeah.
So I was going to hire Reggie, or try to, but why should I try to hire him when I got his cousin Dre? Dre's going to be closer, and he's going to trust his cousins more. So I told Dre, and then Eugene and Michael, they were like, whoa, 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 whoa. We're homeboys with him. We're good friends with him. You need to put him under us. I said, I don't care.
As long as he goes somewhere.
As long as he goes somewhere in the Boone group. But you do want to be strategery about it, Boone.
Right.
So if we got him under Michael or Eugene, that locks them in also. Does that make sense? Now, if
Now they fighting for something.
say that again.
Now they fighting for something.
Now they fighting for something. See, he got that. You put people under somebody, they got something to fight for. So we hire Reggie, and I mean, dude, we may hire him, we may not. I don't ever get my hopes up. But if we did, wouldn't that be crazy? This disciplined, I mean, y'all just don't know. This is a hard-working, focused individual, right? So what if we hired him? Then it would be, you would think his popularity would lead to some great people under Dre and under Eugene or Michael. I told Dre he could stack Eugene and Michael since they're good buddies and keep that alignment, keep that motivation lined up, Boone. But I'll let you and Dre, I don't get too involved in people's personal feelings. I mean, I can live with it either way. I would stack them because they're such good buddies. Now, if you stacked them, now you know Reggie would go down to bottom. If you went Michael hired Eugene, then you definitely would put Reggie under Eugene. Or if Eugene hired Michael, you'd definitely put Reggie at the deepest part. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, it don't make sense if I meet an Uber driver tomorrow and I hire him, it makes no sense to put him under Eugene or Michael because there's no relationship there.
Right.
So look at all these places that we need need our property, we need our land, we need our leg to grow. So people say, like, you ain't gonna have no time. I know. But eventually, I think by April, we can get this group doing $100,000 a month. What if we had $75,000 down Mike's leg, $25,000 down Moxie's leg? That would give Nicole essentially $100,000 down 2 legs. And then if Boone can create 3 or 4 more thousand in leg 3 and 4, dude, we got him almost on track to agency manager, because he needs a 25 and a 15. So if we had a 75 and a 25, well, that certainly qualifies. Make sense? Who's outside? Is that you, Boone, or is that you, Nicole? Sounds like air.
Yeah, it's a lot of wind blowing down here in Florida.
Florida's windy. You ain't got a hurricane coming, do you? What was I going to, oh, some other point that I want. There's a million little points in this. Nicole.
Yes.
Talk, because I'm trying to remember. Something I wanted to tell them.
Oh, depth, getting people under people, calling, meeting.
Tell me about this Aaron under
Aaron.
Mike, who's put in Bill, Bree, and Sam.
Yes, Bree is very sharp. She plays ball at Carson Newman basketball. So Aaron goes to Carson Newman and knows Bree through basketball. And actually, Bree's supposed to be getting in class this week. She just got home yesterday, texted me about 8 p.m., said that she left her computer at school, but she would go to the library to start the course because she wants to get in.
Okay. So, Boone, do you understand you have authorization to call everybody in your group? And you have authorization to motivate and get them going. You don't have to wait for Nicole. So this is what I think I do more than anybody else. I get other people working besides me. And now Nicole has got Boone working. Now, Boone, if you can get Mike working. Now, Mike, look what Mike's done. Mike's put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legs. And he keeps putting them in. I'm like, Mike, start working in depth. Because you imagine Mike's group is going to look like Boone's group pretty soon. And then Matt, who's under Mike, is Mike's brother. Matt is going to blow up. And by the way, Matt is hiring his mom, Mike, and as Sharon. Okay, so Sharon's getting in under, so it goes Mike, Matt, and Sharon. Sharon's not drawn out there. And Sharon and her husband, Mike Sr., they run a big church down in Charlotte. Y'all see how this works? Y'all see how it gets getting out of control? This is what you want your group to do. You don't want it to stagnate with one guy. Oh, he's in class. He's chapter 7. He's got 2 people interested. How long has he been around? Oh, he's only been around 3 weeks. I'm like, my God, 3 weeks. You should have 14 people in class by now, or at least 9, or at least you should have 14 interested. You say, well, the guy I got, nobody's interested, so it's taking forever. I suggest you get more width. The reason you get more width is to get more depth. I've got 2 legs that I started 6 months ago that are not this many people fired up out of their mind. 6 months ago. So this is a good width to work depth. And Sean signed up to a convention. Now he's trying to get Mike. He's trying to get Matt. And then Matt's over here in Durham. What was you going to say, Boone?
Oh, no, I'm definitely coming to the convention. I'm leaving from Florida the 22nd.
Woohoo! All right, now, I have went overtime. Okay, I hope this helps. We're going to keep teaching this. There's 150 to a million ways to do this wrong. Your job is to find somebody, get a list, and drop down in depth. If you get, keep in mind, y'all just looked at a group, the deepest we're working is 6. So we want the sharpest that are on the 4th, 5th, and 6th level and try to get all them 4 wide. That's why Nicole's like breathing. Like she's talking from 8 a.m. until midnight. People say, well, why would you want to work that much? She wants to get rich. Does that make sense? Like, what else? I ask people, what else are you going to do? You're going to get updated on, what's that thing, Breaking Bad? Is that where the guy's killing them people? What are you going to get updated on Breaking Bad and see who he killed latest? Is that your plan? You want to get to level 3 in your video game? Yeah, I do. You want to go to Paris? You want to go to Louvre? Do you want to buy a Ferrari? You want to buy a Lamborghini? Do you want your own jet? You can have it, bro. I am telling you, the only thing in between you and wealth is that dadgum phone. And if you will pick that phone up, that phone will be a river, not a dam. That phone will propel you into the future. You can have it all, and you can have it now. We should write a song like that. Wouldn't that be crazy? All right, y'all get after it. Love you. Hope this helps. Text me questions. I'll try to answer them on band, and I'll try to answer them. I got meetings to go to. We got January 14th. We rolling this stuff out. Looks like that's the date. Drop date day. This compensation's coming, guys. Get started now. You are free to tell everybody how this thing works. Let's go. Love you. Bye. Kind of crazy, huh? Is that helpful? Yes. Okay.